start. Everybody,
Thanks,
hey guys, welcome to the beautiful podcast, the Innate podcast this year. Thank you for being here.
So good to see you.
Very
Good to be here.
And those of you that are watching this, we had a bit of an issue with our technology before, but we are super excited to be welcoming Ash and Katie to the podcast, but most importantly to our Innate Summit lineup this year. So thank you guys for saying yes.
We're so excited. A little bit daunted, but mostly excited.
Super pumped, super excited. We've been there a few times now, as you know, and it'd just be good to be there, to be amongst everybody again, to yell and scream and celebrate chiropractic and just dip ourselves again, which we can't wait.
Oh yeah, and that's kind of what I love.
Way too long.
Way too long. And you kind of, your energy, the way you just ooze charisma, you understand chiropractic more than anyone. For those that don't know who Katie and Ash are, they are pretty much like royalty in New Zealand in regards to chiropractic. I want to put words out, and they're not going to hate that, but like they have done a serious amount of accolades. They're obviously heavily involved with the NZCC. They've been involved in chiropractic in every aspect for thousands of years in the small amount of time we've been on the planet. But really, it's you guys have done such a huge effort. So can you maybe give us a little bit of a background into both of you, even though some of our speakers or some of our attendees know who you are, just for the newbies, maybe just fill in a bit of the blanks, if you wouldn't mind.
Right. Well, do you know, it's a pretty special year for us because this year marks 20 years in practice.
Holy moly.
And in this practice. So we've been chiropractors for 22 years, or it'll be 22 years, but in this particular location, 20 years. We're both chiropractors, we're both New Zealand College of Chiropractic graduates. We graduated in the year 2000. That might seem a long time ago for many of you. For us, it was just a moment ago.
And it makes it really easy to remember.
It does. And since then, we've both been essentially in full-time practice. I've just had two little step outs to have our children. And we practice in Auckland, New Zealand, and in Advanced Health Chiropractic. In fact, you can see our practice in the background. It's very quiet at the moment because we don't have anyone here, but normally it's bustling and noisy, and we have lots of kids. We have a slide in the background.
Yeah, normally the playground behind us is teeming with kids running up and down, and we have the room sort of feeding off the playground and the community area.
That's so cool.
Yeah, it's a rabbit warren.
Yeah, it's great fun. A lot of fun. High energy, high noise, but it works for us.
Yeah, I think...
but yeah, essentially we're both practicing chiropractors, but we've also had the honor, the privilege of being pretty involved in the profession here in New Zealand, both of us with the New Zealand College of Chiropractic and various other little roles. But I guess our practice members are often surprised because we still love what we do as much now as we did right from the get-go. In fact, I think my passion grows. So I feel lucky to be a chiropractor. I'm super excited about coming across, actually getting into an airplane and traveling. That's pretty exciting. But mostly to be surrounded by other passionate, enthusiastic people who love what we love.
Yeah, and that's kind of what you guys are playing it down by yes, I know you've got a rock and busy practice. I know that the volume you see is huge, and I know also that the community you serve is massive, but not only in your own communities, but also for the NZCC. You've been pretty much at the, at the forefront of changing things there, and also leadership roles, and heavily involved with the NZCC for many years, which means you're giving back to the profession, which is why your heart is so big and why we love to have you on stage. So you didn't even say that much, Katie, but I want to make sure the audience knows how awesome you are in that area. And so anyway, and so tell us, you've been before, I know you both spoke on our stage before, and we had rave reviews about both of your performances or your talks. This year we've got community or connection happening. So tell us maybe some little small small pearls that maybe we can kind of hear from you on the stage this year.
It's interesting because when you get asked to speak, do you kind of think, okay, what would I love to share and have a conversation about? And both of us have had lots flying around. When you've been sidetracked for a couple of years and separated from a lot of the people that you love in the profession, you just can't wait to get up there and just start sharing everything that you want to blast out. So we've split what we're going to talk about, because both of us love the magic of chiropractic, and we'd like to talk a lot about that and how the impact of it on not only us and our teams and our profession, but on the people that we take care of. I'm gonna shift more into. There's a big difference between playing the long game and the short game, and I think our profession has been sidetracked by a lot of short games that we've been trying to win, and we forget about the long game. So I'm going to explore that a little bit with as many stories as I can and as much passion as I can, because I think if we stay on track as a profession and focus on our long game for as long as we can, then we're going to really see what the potential is of chiropractic and the potential for people that we take care of in the communities that surround us. So that's where I'm going to go. And
before you jump, can you give me more about that, like the long game? What is that? What is that?
I'm probably going to hold a little bit back, because if I give my entire talk now, but I just wanted to sort of plant that seed and create a little bit of curiosity between, what is the long game, what is the short game, and how do we choose the right short games that contribute to our long game? That's kind of where I want to go. And if we can all get clarity around that, then we'll be kicking goals not only short term, but obviously long term, because they'll all line up perfectly.
So you really are a bit of a cheeky monkey there, aren't you? Kind of pretty much you kind of wet the whistle, or you've kind of you've intrigued questions out of me, but now we've got to come to the Innate Summit to hear the answers. So I love that.
And it gives me time to explore it myself as well.
And actually write your talk. Good job.
That's exactly it. We've got to pretty much covered.
I think the title of mine is going to be "It's All in the Magic." Ash is definitely more of a visionary. He's going to paint a big contextual picture, take us on a journey. I think where I can bring it all together is talking a little bit about the practical, hopefully tips or explore what we can actually do to take back to the practice, to experience the magic in practice, to experience magic with our practice members. So mine will be focused around practicality, hands-on magic, and Ash will take us on a journey of vision and stretch us and take us beyond, I'm sure.
For us, that's just like real life in practice as well. Like I tend to have a lot of ideas and they tend to pop out a lot. But if I didn't have Katie, both as my life partner, my wife, and business partner, then stuff wouldn't happen as well as it does happen. So I think you'll see when we both get up there, how we communicate and how we work and how we think will come out pretty clearly.
That's awesome. I love that. And I know your passion and your excitement for life and just for what we call chiropractic is so big. Tell me, you've mentioned before about the New Zealand college, and you can't wait to come across to Australia, I suppose. Can we expect or hopefully see some more New Zealanders coming out, do you reckon?
Yeah. No, we'll be spreading the word and bringing our team and getting as many New Zealanders over there as possible.
There's going to be a huge contingent. There's already so much chatter about Innate. We hope to be all going to a Lyceum in August this year, which is perfectly timed because Lyceum is just a one-day event. And then we've got obviously the beginning of October to all come and dip again with the Innate Summit. There's huge excitement and need and want for Innate.
Oh man, so tell me, let's just stop there for a second. Lyceum. I mean, give us more. What's the dates? I haven't asked Gabby yet, but I'm going to be there.
You've got to come. So I feel vague now. I think it's the 13th. It's Saturday the 13th of August, which is almost a month earlier than we would normally have it.
Normally located on or as close as we can get to chiropractic's birthday. And venues being venues and being complicated in the world we live in at the moment, we couldn't get that actual weekend. So the next best thing was let's go early and get everyone together as soon as we possibly can. So August 13th when it's going to happen, and it's looking great.
And in Auckland, I'm assuming?
Yep.
Yeah.
So from that, like I spoke to Ash probably would have been 4 or 5 years ago, and we just had a few beers and we're sitting around at night time, and just imagine how awesome it would be if we could just have this moving contingent, like chiropractic tribe of 2,000 people strong, going to like 4 or 5 events every year and just staying dipped. And I'm going to suggest, yes, the Innate Summit is my baby, if you like, or mine and Gabby's baby, and we love the idea of coming together at the Innate Summit. But I'm going to highly recommend, like, if we could stay dipped regularly every 2-3 months, and like Lyceum would be a great example of that. So I'm going to highly recommend that. If it's going to be August 13 on Saturday, flights are cheap. It's going to be freaking cold. So if you're a skier, you get over there and get involved with the skiing. So if my wife, I'm going to say I'm a very good chance of being there. I didn't know the dates, but now it's given in my mind. I'll ask Loz to put it in the calendar, and I reckon we'll definitely get there. And if we can travel, we can definitely travel now. So I'm going to suggest everyone from the Innate Summit to get there. Lyceum is a huge event, and it's one of the most important events in the Southern Hemisphere for TIC. So
and double dip is always good.
And I can. That's the other thing. Like double dipping, everyone should do it, but apparently there's rules you can't do it. Like when it comes to corn chips or hummus or anything, you can't have a double
I'm a
dip.
big double dipper.
Just share as much as you like.
Yeah, it gets germs flowing. It's just good for us, you know. That's the same thing with the chiropractic philosophy. Let's get exposed to more of it. All right, that's awesome. Any other points you want to kind of raise before we kind of wrap up this kind of podcast? That I would love to kind of ask you. Staying dipped is important, but then also this year we've got we know that we're going top shelf. Like this year, you mentioned before about venues. We have had to delay a whole bunch of our launch date because the venues have been issues, and then all the kind of lockdown clauses, and then who can be there, the vaccine stuff. And there's been a bit of chaos, but we've finally ironed all the kinks out. And we're kind of going top shelf this year. We're 5-star. There's going to be 2 or 3 bars for all those guys who like to party. We're going like a nice big ball, a big party that's going to be rocking on the Friday, Saturday, and the Sunday. I'm going to be partying all weekend, but the actual official party's on a Saturday night. So tell me, for you guys, in regards to team members or students, what do you reckon is the value of bringing students or encouraging students or your team to be at events like the Innate Summit or like Lyceum?
Look, Innate, I'm going to talk about Innate. It's an absolute must. I have attended on 2 occasions, and I wish I'd been to all of them. I've only been to 2. Both times, massive impact, incredible impact. And I think it's a seminar that speaks to everybody. It doesn't matter whether you've been in practice for years and years and years, or whether you're fresh out of college, or whether you're still studying. There's something for everybody. And I think what is really clear about the Innate Summit is it's about creating culture. It's about creating a family of like-minded chiropractors who are really, really passionate about the vitalistic nature of what we do and why we do it, and the way we live, in fact. This year, I think our biggest challenge, Sam and Gabby, our biggest challenge is the tickets are going to sell out fast.
Yes.
Because we're so desperate for this. Everybody needs this. We need this more than we've ever needed it before. And we need to come together. We need to connect, and we need to share and collaborate. And so I think our biggest challenge is going to be, not who's going to come, but who's going to be missing out. Like, let's make sure we don't miss out.
And I thank you for saying that. And that's one of the other challenges we had, because we were trying Melbourne, we tried Sydney, we tried Queensland, we went everywhere. And like, first of all, the guys that bought we've already sold almost 200 tickets from last year. Those that were like, yep, I'm coming, let's go. And then they kind of say, guys, we're changing dates and we're changing locations and then. But the cool thing is everyone was saying, oh no, 200 max, 300 max with these new rules. And so we had to kind of find somewhere else. Like we're going to go next level. Chiropractic needs this. So like, just be prepared. And I've got this vision in my head of like, literally, when you see in like Lord of the Rings, when like that big fire monster kind of walks in and all those orcs are coming down like the walls. I kind of feel like as if there's going to be chiropractors just coming through the walls, the yellow lanyard just walking into the main hall, and like people everywhere just celebrate around chiropractic. So I think you're right. We're going to have like, I would say hundreds, just shy of thousands people coming to the Innate Summit. That's my vision and my dream this year, because we have been so desperate for it, and this venue can cater it. So like, get on board. It's going to be freaking exciting. I'm literally getting excited.
Absolutely, we can't wait. Absolutely can't wait.
So thank you for saying that. It's pretty exciting times. You guys have been extremely humble for what you can bring to what you have brought and what you do bring. You've kept a lot of that under wraps. So I'm not going to celebrate too much. I'm going to let you guys get on stage and share your brilliance. So I want to say thank you so much for saying yes, for helping us bring people over from New Zealand. We are going to really try and capture the Southern Hemisphere. We've got guys from New Zealand coming. There's a team from South Africa that would love to be here. So we really are trying to create that space. And then, as I said, imagine how in 5 years' time, having the long game, I'm not sure if this is where your long game idea comes from, Ash, but imagine if we could have 5 years' time where we could have this big utopia of like 2,000 chiros traveling at every 2 or 3 months, coming together, knowing exactly what drinks they have, what foods they eat, and just getting excited around chiropractic and hearing their success in practice, because more people are getting adjusted. Like, I would just, let's think big. It's awesome.
Absolutely. You're spot on.
So, all right, guys. Well, once again, thank you so much for saying yes for the Innate Summit, for saying yes to this podcast, and just for showing up consistently over the last, we said 20 years in your practice and years prior to that as well. So, you guys are amazing. Love you to bits.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
We'll see you in a few months.
So good to be involved.
I know, right? A few months away. So,
It is.
and we've still got the early bird sales. I know Lodge is going to hate me mentioning that right now. That means that this is going to have to go out straight away. But we've only got 2 or 3 weeks of early bird, and we've got bulk tickets going out now. So you can actually buy in bulk and save money, because we want, like, literally think of Lord of the Rings, and it's like an infestation of chiropractors.
Got that vision loud and clear, mate. Ready to go.
I know, it just gets me excited. So anyway, love you guys to bits, and we'll see you in a few months. And yeah, stay classy.
Yep, take care.
Thanks.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye, guys.